Alright, so I am driving from Iowa City to Ames, Iowa, which basically is the trip connecting University of Iowa with Iowa State University, two gorgeous and prestigious universities in the state of Iowa. It snowed pretty bad last night. There was a huge snow sweeping from Arizona all the way to Boston. So it was about 9-inch snow last night. But look at the road condition, doesn't look that bad. So anyway, I'm just gonna record this trip. And for those who concern where I am on I-80 highway, westbound. So I am about, about 10 miles west of Iowa City right now. So the trip today is we're going to Des Moines first, along I-80. Then we're going to head north through I-35, which goes from Des Moines to Minneapolis. But of course, we're gonna stop shortly after departing from Des Moines. Ames is a college town which is about 30-40 minutes north of Des Moines. So the trip today is altogether about an hour and 50 minutes. But since I started recording late, now the rest of the trip will be, I guess, 1 hour 30 minutes, something like that. Okay, whoops, I was offline. Seems that I could not have both the video recording and Android Auto on my car running at the same time. But yeah, let's see. If this happens again, I'll manually restart.
Better route available.
So the snow didn't stop until 2:05 a.m. last night. Therefore, I really appreciate the Iowa DOT for cleaning up the road. You can see there's no snow on the road at all. So I really appreciate that. Well, Google just gives me a suggestion for a different route. So Google asked me to leave after 5 miles. Well, I think I know what it's referring to. I think Google is trying to redirect me to US 30, but I'm not sure about the road condition. So I guess I'll just stay on I-80 to Des Moines. It's pretty cold outside, 5 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about a minus 16 degrees Celsius. Usually the first 2 weeks of January in Iowa is quite brutal. Temperature could drop below minus 5 Celsius. That is considered my tolerant level. But other than that, I think it's fine. -5 Celsius is okay for me. Beyond that, it's crazy. And usually in the first, when Iowa becomes really cold, it's not a little bit below -5 Celsius. It's a lot, like -15 degrees Celsius. So in several past few years, I actually escaped the most brutal 2 weeks in Iowa's winter by traveling to somewhere else, not on purpose, not always on purpose. Yeah, so this week it's going to be cold. It's going to be -15.
Take exit 216 toward Marengo, North English.
Yeah, I'm not going to make the change. It's just 3 minutes difference. Okay. Snow came really late this year. Pretty much this is the first snow of this year, of this winter season. There was no snow pretty much the entire December and November. So it was a really warm winter. Yeah, so on the far right, between 12 o'clock and 2 o'clock, you can see lots of wind turbines. I really love them. They generate electricity in a green way. About 30% of electricity generated in Iowa is from wind power, actually, from wind. So electricity bills here is really cheap. So between wind power and solar power, I think wind is a much better way than solar. I don't know, I'm not an expert on that, but solar is so distributed. For example, each wind turbine here, if they spin, each of them is, if it spins, it can generate a lot of power, right? But if you use solar, let's say you put on a residential roof on somebody's home, over somebody's home, that's a very little amount of energy generated. It's too complicated to convert that DC, little amount of DC to AC that the house could use and feed it back to the power grid. But in wind power, to me, it sounds like a little bit easier. Plus solar, that's too expensive, I think. The solar panel is quite expensive. Of course, I don't know how expensive these wind turbines are. But I feel the technology for building wind turbines is less advanced than building a solar panel. Because wind turbines, how high-tech is that? We have been building that for centuries. If if not thousands of years. And then you just can hook it up with a generator, which Michael Faraday had invented way back, right? Also, I don't know about the energy conversion efficiency between this wind turbine, which converts kinetic energy to electricity, versus the solar panel, which uses the photovoltaic effects to generate electricity, to turn light into electricity. I heard that the efficiency for the solar panel is actually pretty low, like 30% something. Oh, it's quite bumpy here. Yeah, it's too bumpy. Let me switch lane. I see lots of wind turbines at 10 o'clock and at 1 o'clock. And on the far left and far right, it's just farmland. Iowa is mile after mile of farmland. So I hook up my phone on the windshield with the very cheap, phone holder, which sucks onto the windshield. $15 from Walmart, but looks like it's bouncing, so the video is very shaky. If you know a good phone stabilizer or camera stabilizer that I can mount onto the windshield or put onto the dash, just let me know so I can record travel videos much better next time. There is a rest area 1 mile down the road. Probably I'll skip this one, use the next one. Just past a rest area. So I drove along I-80 westbound from Cleveland all the way to San Francisco several years back, about 7-8 years back. It was quite fun. If you make a stop at those rest areas, you will learn a lot of history. Usually at those rest areas, there were some like signs or plaques or billboards, signboards. They tell you the history of the westward movement, some knowledge about Native American history, some history about I-80. So I-80 actually was constructed along many Native American trails, actually, or animal trails like buffalo trails. And if you drive all the way to, for example, Colorado or Utah, up to the mountains, that's really gorgeous. Even during the summer, you could see the snow at the top of the mountains. That's really beautiful. So I strongly recommend anyone to do a coast-to-coast transcontinental road trip. That's really cool. So the sign on the right says we are 74 miles to Des Moines, which is about 1 hour from now. So the sign on the right says the next exit would lead to a city called Woodcheer. That's an interesting city name, right? Back when I was in Ohio, there was a city called Happy, I think. And there was also a city called Holiday. Look at the sign on the right. It says Woodcheer. I like this city name, Woodcheer. I want to move to this town. There is a small hotel on the right. It says Pleasant Stay Inn. I love this name. Now, if you look at 10 o'clock or 2 o'clock, you can see the terrain of Iowa here. It's actually quite bumpy, small bumps, bump after bump. As we are moving west toward Des Moines, when we get closer to Des Moines, you will see that the land becomes much more flat, much flatter. It's quite flat over there, but here it's like small hills, small bump after small bump. So I met a colleague. Her family moved from Ohio to Iowa, and he told me, she told me that the soil here in Iowa is better than the soil in Ohio. So that's why her family moved from Ohio to here. Oh, I just saw a sign on the right. It says it's John Wayne's boyhood house. Yeah, so if you like Western movies, you probably know John Wayne, the actor. So, looks like he was born here. So if you drive along I-80 across Iowa, you will see birthplace of many famous people. So from Iowa City, that is where President Hoover was born. So there was a small national park, very small national park, of his old house and the community he grew up. And we probably will bypass the place where Ronald Reagan was born, I guess. So in front of me it's a semi-truck. On the back of it, it says they're recruiting drivers to drive from Chicago to Seattle. And they say that, I don't know, it says single up to 70 cents per mile, team up to 85 cents per mile. I don't know what's the difference between a team and a single. But I would assume if it were a team, it should have doubled. I don't know. 70 cents a mile. So I salute to American truck drivers. They're the backbone that makes this country running, makes this country run. And it's a lot of sacrifice for them. They drive on the road, so which means that they will be apart from their family for quite often. During this pandemic, without them, if everybody stays at home, this country cannot run. They deliver goods, especially during this pandemic. Online shopping became a new trend, right? And everybody orders delivery. So these truck drivers, they have done this country a great work. Oh, the truck behind me is... The truck I just passed is trying to pass me now. Guess I was too slow. I saw a sign. The sign says if you want to, the next exit will lead you to a town called Montezuma. I love this name too. You can see lots of wind turbines on the right and left. Gonna switch. I'll stay on I-80.
Take exit 191. In a quarter mile, turn right onto US Highway 63 North.
Oh, look at the beautiful wind turbines on the right. Beautiful, beautiful. Love them. I don't know whether they're called wind turbines or windmills or wind wheels. I don't know. If you know, let me know. I don't know what's the right word, or right phrase to describe them. Wow, there's a truck that's so close behind me. I don't like this truck driver. He's too close. So I heard there's a company called I forgot the name, but I know there are probably one or several other companies. They build self-driving kits. Basically, you mount a camera on your dash or on your windshield, and then this device could use the OBD port of your car, which is usually under your dash, to control the steering wheel and the brake of your car in order to do self-driving. It probably does not directly control your steering wheel or the brake, but instead it talks with the lane keeping system and the automatic brake system of your car to do self-driving. I think in theory, yes, that could do the work. So I'm very interested to try one of those when I have time. Now, if you think about self-driving on highway, it's actually pretty. I mean, I shouldn't say pretty. I should say it's relatively easy task because you have the lines printed on the road, so the car just need to follow the lines, and it just needs to use whatever sensor, either radar, camera, or whatever LiDAR, to detect the distance between your vehicle to the vehicle in front of you. And apply the brake accordingly. That's the theory of self-driving. So driving on the highway is relatively easy compared with city driving. City driving is too difficult because there are too many different conditions that you have to deal with. One thing for years, which I couldn't understand, is if it's raining or snowing outside, or foggy outside, the camera cannot see the line on the road. So how can self-driving work in that case? I don't know. Does it purely rely on GPS road map, probably plus IMU? I don't know. If you know, let me know. Educate me on how self-driving works. Okay, so we're going to pass a city, a small town called Greennail. So Greennail is a small town, but there is a very famous liberal arts college over there called Greennail College, which is a very good one. Very prestigious one. I made a mistake. I wanted to use the restroom, but I just passed the rest area. No worries. There'll be another one, probably 30 minutes. I just realized I probably did something stupid. I forgot to inflate my tire before I left today. Since it's so cold, the temperature dropped a lot in the past few days. Dropped from, for example, 32 Fahrenheit to 0 Fahrenheit. So maybe the tire pressure is quite low. So now my fuel efficiency is super low. I should have inflated it. Forgot. Anyway. I'll probably go to a local Walmart and my destiny for a portable tire pump. Yeah, so I bought one from Walmart a while back. It was really good. It's very small, about the size of a power drill. So it's very small. It has rechargeable battery, so you don't have to have a wire connecting from your 12-volt outlet in your car. So just plug in the battery, have full freedom to move it and inflate. It's very easy to use. Just see an animal over there. There was a small road on the hill, and I think I saw either a coyote or a dog or a wolf, some kind of, probably not a wolf, probably a coyote or a fox, something. Coyote probably. Fox is too small for that. Pala. Okay, so we're now passing a town called Pala, or Pala, I think. If you are into home improvement, or if you care about the brand of your window or your patio door, you probably know a brand called Pella. You can buy them from Lowe's, probably not Home Depot, but those windows and the patio doors are made here in this town called Pella. That's the name of this town. And I also think, if I were correct, Pella has a Dutch tradition, so you will see a lot of tulips. There's a tulip festival in October, I think. Here, yeah. Town called Kellogg. I don't know whether the cereal brand Kellogg is related with this town. Don't know. we passed about the middle point. We have 61 miles to go, and that's 15 minutes left. Although it snowed the past 2 days, the weather today is good. Sunny. I like the sunshine. Oh, we are passing a town called Newton. The sign says it's called Iowa Speedway Drive. That's an interesting street name. Speedway Drive. Saw a big stadium to my left, probably a football one, so that probably means there's a college or a very big high school here. That looks too big to be for a high school with boxes. Yeah. We are 36 miles left to Des Moines. Attractions X164. Well, how come it didn't even tell me what kind of attraction is that? I mean, I was referring to a sign. 3 miles to Des Moines. Wow, look at the truck to my right. It's full of dirty ice. Oh, dirty snow, I probably should say. looks like we're approaching Des Moines. So more and more cars are on the road. Gonna slow down because there's a truck in front of me with the double blinker. truck in front of me has a really bad engine, I guess. Dark smoke. Oh, on my right, it's a beautiful camper, actually. It's a camper which docks onto a pickup truck. By camper, I mean a small house. Yeah. Portable house. Like the RV. Ah, I passed another rest area. Shoot. How come I keep passing those rest areas? Okay, so we are 30 minutes to our destination. Destiny. Alright, I've dropped the speed to 65 now. We are entering the outer skirt of Des Moines. So we are in a city called Altoona, which is outskirts of Des Moines now. Alright, 2.7 miles, make a right turn to I-35 north toward Minneapolis.
In 2 miles, take exit 137B for I-35 north toward Minneapolis.
Wow, this.
In half a mile, take exit 137B for I-35 north toward Minneapolis. Take exit 137B.
Okay, we're gonna hit I-35, and from here, we're heading to Ames. Wow, there's some traffic accident here. Some car got, I don't know, broken down, I guess. It's being towed away. It's being towed away. Oh, sorry about the bumps. Okay. All right. We are on our last segment of this trip to Iowa State University. Go Cyclones! So on the road to Iowa State University, we're going to pass a city, which is the suburb of Des Moines again. It's called Ankeny. That is a town that's being fastly or maybe I should say it's been exploding. That town is exploding in recent years. Population growing up crazy, lots of new constructions, new development. So although I passed all the rest areas, we're going to visit a very interesting rest area. In that resting area, you will see some artwork memorizing the Antanasov blurry computer. So many of you probably know that ENIAC was the first digital electronic computer. However, everybody thought like that until 1970s. I don't know, 71 or 79, because the two inventors of ENIAC, Actor and what's the other guy's name? I forgot. They filed a patent claiming they invented the digital electronic computer. So every company who builds digital electronic computer has to pay them money, pay them a patent royalty. However, in 1970s, Honeywell sued these two guys, claiming that they did not invent this the idea of digital electronic computer themselves. Instead, the invention was made at Iowa State University by Professor Antanasov with his graduate student Barry, actually way back in 1937. So Professor Atanasoff did show up at the federal court, and he showed letters proving that the two inventors of ENIAC took the idea, if not stole the idea from him. Actually, those two guys, or maybe one of them, visited Antanasov in his house in Ames. So Professor Antanasov fed him, provided him lodging. Instead, that guy stole his invention. However, but this federal lawsuit came too late. So by 1970s, the textbooks all over the world already claimed that ENIAC was the first digital electronic computer. So that has become a inertia. There was a inertia or momentum on this inaccurate historical remark. So in 1990, Atanasoff wrote a letter to President Bush, the old Bush, the father Bush, and Father Bush gave him the National Medal of Invention in 1990, I think. So this becomes the end of this historical dispute: who invented the first digital electronic computer. Dr. Antanasov, he wasn't a math professor nor a computer science professor, because back then there was no such a major called computer science or computer engineering. He was a physics professor. One day he was, in 1937, he used analog computers a lot. But the problem of analog computers is that they are not accurate. If you know the theory, how they work, their operating principles, they're not accurate. They're prone to noises, especially the thermal noise. So Dr. Antanasov was really bothered by this problem. So one day he decided to take a trip off work. So he drove to probably Chicago, somewhere east of Mississippi River, and on the way he came back. He came up with an idea. According to him, after he crossed the Mississippi River westward, immediately he came up with this idea of how building a digital electronic computer. So he wants to build a device that's electronic and use discretized representation of numbers. So he made us immediate stop to the earliest place he could stop, and he took a napkin and wrote down his idea. And after he came back, he turned that idea into a computer along with his graduate student Barry. So this computer is called ABC, Antanasov Barry computer. And then soon World War II broke out. So Professor Antanasov left this computer in his lab in the basement of physics building of Iowa State University, and then he went on to work for the Navy in the World War II effort. Yeah, he probably even forgot his computer. When he came back, the computer was disassembled and tossed away by the university because this computer was too big. So they said, well, this computer is taking too much space of our building, so let's trash it. So back then, nobody realized the value of this computer. Anyhow, so this is the story of a physics professor made a contribution to science in a domain that was not even born. Okay? So today, the computer science department at Iowa State University, the building hosting this department, is called Antanasov Hall. All right, rest area 1 mile. Okay, so this rest area, like I said, featured a lot of inventions made at Iowa State University. It's a very interesting rest area. All right, 1 mile. I'm gonna stop here. Really want to use the restroom. Here we go. Okay, I'm gonna take some videos inside of this rest area. So I'm at the rest area. You can see there are some interesting tiles about the history of Antanasov computer. I don't know where to begin, so I guess I'll begin with this side. Here it talks about the history of how Antanasov came up with the idea of building digital electronic computer. And this is a picture of him, and he made this work with his graduate student, Barry. Here's a small biograph about Antanasov and a small biograph about Blurry. So these was the two guys who invented the first digital electronic computer. Antanasov applied some research grant money from the state, $650, and built this computer with Blurry. So on this side of the wall says electricity. And on this side it says binary. So this is a picture of Antanasov Blurry computer back then. Like I said earlier, this computer was actually this was trashed by the university. So in 1997, the university came up with the idea. With some funding from public and private sources, the university decided to reconstruct this historical computer. So today this computer is actually in the Computer History Museum in Silicon Valley, next door to Google's headquarters. So here are the 8 key concepts of the ABC computer, which actually they are still being used in today's computers. So you can see first numbers are not zero, numbers are represented with digits, and they separated the instruction and the memory. And we have a dynamic memory to store data. This kind of memory is called RAM, which is still being used today. And this computer is fully electronic. It can do many things at once for more speed. I'm not quite sure what that means. Okay, and the 7th idea is using a clock pulse to move forward the computing, which is the idea of sequential logical circuit. Okay, and it has interchangeable electronic modules. Okay, so you can see, here's a picture. I guess it's from his old drawing. All right. Okay, so let's go to the other side. It says logic. So I guess this is a picture of, I think this person in the picture is Blurry, operating this computer. Yeah, he says because original machine was disassembled for parts, Iowa University and Ames lab decided to restore it in 1997. So let's. I guess I should continue from this side called memory. So earlier in 1937, Antanasov built this computer with his grant money, and eventually a prototype was successfully finished. This is the physics building, so still at Iowa State campus. So this computer was built between 1939 and 1942 in the basement of physics hall at Iowa State. Okay, all right. Then here comes we'll visit a very famous lawsuit about the rediscover of this history. So this is a piece of device which you can still see a replica in Iowa State, which is the drum, which is a memory drum used to store information. Okay, basically on this drum it has lots of small capacitors. Each capacitor, you can consider each capacitor represents 1 bit. Oh, very interesting. Here's a multimedia touchscreen board where you place small videos about the history of Antanasov computer. Very cool, very cool. I love it. Zeros and ones. All right. So like I said, Antanasov left Iowa State in 1942 to work for the Navy, and he did not file a patent for this computer. So then, I guess, where's the rest of the work about the patent lawsuit? Okay, anyway, so he didn't file a lawsuit, and he didn't file a patent, and then someone from University of Pennsylvania, those two guys, they took his idea and built the ENIAC computer, and they filed a patent for that. However, in 1970s, it turned out that those two guys stole the idea from Antanasov, so the their patent for the computer was voided, and therefore the idea of how to build a computer goes to the public domain. So anyone can build a computer, but this rest area didn't say anything about it. All right, yeah. So if you happen to have a chance to visit Iowa State, you can make a stop in this area and learn the history of computers. happened at Iowa State here. Oh yeah, actually here we go. This is the part about the patent lawsuit. Okay, so his work was not recognized until 1973, until a famous patent lawsuit proved that ENIAC was not the original design of digital electronic computer. So therefore, the judge ruled that the idea of modern computer came from, quote, one John Vincent Antanasov, end of quote, making him the father of modern computing. Okay, leaving from the rest area and continue to our final journey to Iowa State University. Should I go this way or how do I get back to the highway? Okay. Oh, it's the same. Okay.
In a quarter mile, merge onto I-35 North.
So you can see this segment of I-35, it's actually quite busy. 10 minutes away from campus. I was trying to wipe my screen, but I probably have made things worse. Okay, I totally messed up the front of my screen. I mean windshield.
In 2 miles, take exit 111A, 111B for US 30 East toward Nevada. In half a mile, take exit 111A, 111B for US 30 East toward Nevada. Take exit 111A, 111B, then keep left at the fork.
Okay, so we are now leaving I-35 to US 30 West. You can see on my left, that's the city of Ames.
Keep left at the fork.
this bridge is called John Antanasov and Barry Memorial Bridge. Great. This bridge is named after that professor and his graduate student. Love the recognition. Antanasov Barry context. Broken car on left.
Take exit 146, then keep right at the fork. Keep right at the fork. Onto South University Boulevard, then you'll arrive at your destination. I just wake up. Do you want to reply?
Yes. Do you need me to pick you up now? I just arrived to campus.
Sorry, did you want to reply to that one?
Yes.
You can reply, repeat the message, or go on to the next one.
Reply.
Sorry, I'm having problems understanding. You might want to try again later.
I didn't figure out how to reply a message on Telegram through Google Auto, Android Auto, so that's fine. So guys, this is the Iowa State University. To my left, which you probably saw earlier, is a football stadium. Okay, and at 11 o'clock, that's to, how to say, Coliseum, where, oops, I need to make a stop, where you can see lots of performing arts stuff. And we are heading to the main campus, because now we're at the like the football stadium, those kind of outskirt of the campus. All right. I guess once I cross this street, which is called Lincoln Way, we're officially on campus of Iowa State University. Yeah, so now it's winter break, so there aren't many people on campus. To my right, it's actually the Union Pacific Railroad, where the section from Omaha to Sacramento was mainly constructed by Chinese Americans. Yeah, let me show you, since I'm at red light. So you can see this railroad here. Railroad. Okay, all right. All right, this is the beautiful campus of Iowa State University. All right, let me make a left turn here so we can go to Antanasov easier. This is the campus, and we will see the physics building pretty soon. That's where Antanasov and Barry invented the first digital electronic computer. It's the building on the right. Building on the right. This is a physics building, okay? Alright, so now let's go to the Antanasov Hall, which is the home of the computer science department. Let's see whether I can find a spot behind the building. Okay, let me make a right turn. Left turn, I mean. Okay, so the building at 1 o'clock is Antanasov Hall. Oops, the sunshine. But anyway, we're gonna go to the back of the building. Woohoo! There is a free parking spot. Great. All right. So this is the Antanasov Hall. And this is my journey from Iowa City to Ames, Iowa. Thanks for watching.